The next product was this grenade, which we call the TRM. This is its name, you know. And it is practically also the, you know, you had the similar product you have the similar product in all the armies, you know. This is very simplified one with a very simplified fuse, but efficient. It has the efficiency on the target of the shell of 60 millimeters caliber, the mortar shell, you know. It is one of the products made in a biggest number, and we can say one of the products that really we think saved this city of entering of Chetniks in it, you know, because it was really, and it is the kind of infantry artillery, you know. The effect is quite good, if you can say, for the weapon. You know.
Fired from a Kalashnikov?
For Kalashnikov or Simonov. Simonov is really, you know, Simonov is semi-automatic, you know, Kalashnikov is automatic. And there is a special adapter on Simonov. You already have the adapter, and it goes straight on it, and you use the special bullet, and it can be fired to the distance of 275 meters. That is practical range, you know. And as you visited our front lines, you would know that on some lines we are not more than 100 meters far each from others, you know. So this is really, especially when at the time when you know, Chetniks started using those special units which were armored from the head to their knees, you know, so-called bulls, you know, protected with a very heavy armor, you know. No bullet can penetrate that protective cover, but this is very efficient against them, those, you know. So we stopped them really with these, you know.
So it's essentially an anti-personnel.
Anti-personnel.
It wouldn't penetrate an armor or
no,
tank.
No. It fragmentates in those fragments, you know, and it is pretty efficient on a target, you know.
And what is the range?
275 meters.
Now, this is your own design and manufacture,
yes,
or is it a copy of other existing weaponry?
You know, as I told you, we still have, and at that time we had a lot of scientific and specialists, people in our institutes and people that worked with us, and it was not difficult to design more sophisticated grenades than this one, you know. But we were limited very much with the production resources and materials we had in. In the very early stage, you know, why we decided this diameter, the caliber is 42 millimeters. And why that? Because the scaffold tube is 42 millimeters diameter, you know, the scaffold you put around the houses when you paint, you know. So that is what we had in the quantities. And that is why we decided to use it. So it is just the case that we had that material. You know, as you know, Sarajevo is a closed city, and it is not easy to transport anything in. So we found that we have those tubes in a good enough quantities, and we decided to use it. And the equivalent used by Yugoslav army before the war is 30 millimeters, you know. This is more sophisticated design. We didn't have the tube of that size, and so we decided to use these, you know. So it has, thanks to bigger diameter, it has more explosive in, and therefore it is more efficient, you know. The range is smaller, but what you get is better effect on the target, you know. The fuse is very simplified, you know, because we didn't have the time and special machinery to produce the sophisticated mechanisms, you know, which you usually have in the fuses, the safety mechanisms and so on. Imaju nekakve priče.
And so when you pull the lever, it arms it? And,
Yes, it is armed immediately. You have inside, you have the firing needle, and there is a primer support inside, and there is a small spring in between. So after it is armed, you know, after you pull this out, the spring keeps it against the accidental firing whilst launched, you know. So it is a type of inertial fuse, you know.
And then it explodes on impact?
It explodes immediately on the impact. Yeah. Also, you know, this tube, you know, is also what we had available, you know. This is plumbing tube 3/4 of an inch, which we used for, it corresponds when machined, it is 22 millimeters, which corresponds to the diameter which is already you have on the rifles, you know. So we produced something like 30,000 of those so far, you know.